Good. So we're continuing some of our classes on Northstar. Today the focus is going to be more so Northstar and listings, but I will cover any questions you might have. If you could do me a favor and just sign in on this and pass it around, I'd appreciate it. Last time we talked a little bit about, hey, this is Northstar, here's how you search for homes, this book showing all that fun stuff. Today's focus is going to be a little bit more on the listing side of things and what you can expect from that standpoint. Does that sound good?
Yep.
All right, so first things first. I'm going to cut the lights. For those of you that are watching live or watching the recording, I apologize. It's going to be a little bit hard to see the screen, but for us to see in the room today, we're going to go ahead and shut them off. So when you're logging into Northstar, this is where you're going to go to. This is going to look like, see, I jinxed myself when I said my voice would put her to sleep. You're going to come here, and then to be able to log in, you click on Matrix Login. That pulls you to this. And this is where you would use your login information to access the back end of Northstar MLS.
Should we go get our number?
No, I don't want you to mess around on your computer because then you won't watch what I'm doing, and then I'm going to get fired up, and we're all going to get confused, and then Lori's going to get mad at me. No, I'm just kidding. Right. So when you first log in, this is the back end, this is what you're going to see. They always like to hit you with all the announcements they've got going right here. You can either check read later or I've read this. I never read them. I just click read later. I don't know why I do that. But then it just gets it out of your face, right? So that's their way of letting you, hey, here's our latest training video. Check it out. Here's what's going on, blah, 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 blah. Just a quick orientation to your homepage before I dive into listing specific stuff. A couple questions we got last time were, hey, how do I get the hot sheets? Where's this? Where's that? Okay. So if you come right here, Market Watch, it's automatically pulling for you depending on your settings. I have it set up for single family properties for today. It's showing me new listings, price changes, back on the markets, canceled, closed, expired, pending, etc. All right. All that's just right there at your fingertips. All the additional extra stuff that you might want to utilize is right here. You can click to go there. Trust funds, RPR, info sparks, showing times, all right here for you. And then you've got the ability to plug and play. You can add different widgets for yourself depending upon what you like, okay? You can kind of customize this a little bit. Then you've got some additional hot sheets information over here broken down by single family, multifamily, lots, land, commercial, farm, etc. All right? So this will kind of be yours to customize as you see fit. You scroll down. It also shows you recent portal visitors. Who do you have set up on auto searches that have been checking things out recently? And then you can access your listings. But some of this stuff is customizable. Like you can move it around to a view that you prefer and stuff like that. Okay. So now we're going to dive into the listings portion of MLS and what's relevant to you. Okay. So first off, how many pictures right now can you guys put into Flex MLS per property?
Unlimited.
Unlimited. What?
26.
Is it 26?
23.
Something like that. Is it unlimited or is there a number? I don't know.
I think I've seen more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
see up to 40.
Yeah. So
I
it's
had 85.
it's a lot. It's a lot. So in Northstar though, there's a limitation. It used to only be 18. I think now it's that might be where you get your number from, Brad. It might be around 24 or 26 nowadays. Yeah, well, it just depends on the MLS provider. So it could be that now you guys are having to get used to only being able to put a certain number of photos on there. I would submit to you for a typical normal property, 20 to 25 photos is more than enough, right? That property you had, was it like an acreage property or something crazy?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not crazy.
Right. So then you might need some of that additional stuff. Okay. So let's check out a listing really quick, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So when I pull up the property on MLS, you can see I've got 21 photos, 1 out of 21 that you can peruse, check out, take a look at. Okay. You're typically going to be, I want to say they cut us off at about 24 photos, not 100% sure. Just like in Flex right now, when you upload a photo, can you give a little caption for that photo?
Yeah.
Give some more detail. So you have the ability to do that in Northstar as well, so that's something that won't change for you. Just make sure you're abiding by the same rules. You can't have your information in there, your contact info, your brokerage, or anything like that. Just generic stuff about the property, okay? The other thing you'll be able to do is you will be able to also include a link to a virtual tour. You just have to make sure that when you're doing that, the video that you provide doesn't have anything specific to you or your brokerage or contact information, whatever. All right. So if you're utilizing this capability right now, virtual tours, you'll still be able to. This is what it looks like on Northstar, depending upon which service provider you're utilizing. All right. So there's a number of picture limitation potentially. We'll have to confirm that, and then we'll be able to do your virtual tour links. All right. So no change there, nothing crazy. All right. The other thing that you're going to have access to, just like you do in Flex right now, are supplements, right? Right now, does Flex give you the ability to post two different kinds of supplements, agent only and public? Right. What kind of supplements can you upload right now? Say again?
Public.
They're just for the public.
Yeah.
Right? Anybody can access them. So if you're posting supplements for the public, what do you have to be mindful of? The rules, yeah, you can't post stuff about you and your contact information, etc. Right? Well, in Northstar, you have the ability to publish supplements that are for the general public, meaning anybody, to include other agents, can access them. And you also, hey John, you also have the ability to post supplements that are agent only, meaning only other agents that belong to Northstar can access those supplements. I'll use the seller disclosures for an example. Technically, if I put seller disclosures on Northstar MLS for the public, I have to make sure that the brokerage brand isn't on there, because that's identifying who the company is, right? But if it's an agent-only supplement, I can keep it on there, because it doesn't matter if agents see that. Does that make sense? That's just one example. So the takeaway is anything that's branded to you, it's okay to post it as an agent-only supplement, but you can't post it to the public if it's got any branding on it whatsoever, whether it be you or the company, because those supplements will show up on other websites as well. Does that make sense? Okay.
So supplements are documents?
Yeah, supplements are like the disclosures, for example.
We have, ours are called documents.
Yeah, yeah. So yes, a supplement would be a document. So this is they're trying to say this is supplemental information to the listing, like the disclosures, right? Does Flex require you, or does CBAR require you to upload the disclosures whenever you take a listing? No. No, they don't. It's not required. If you want to save yourself some time, typically you put them on there, right? So it's not required, but if you do, you can put this up there. Other examples of supplemental information: the utility information, community information, a feature sheet, like a hot sheet regarding the property. That's all great stuff you can upload as a supplement or a document for either the general public or for other agents. It's just a branding issue you have to be worried about. So this one has Keller Williams logo on it because it's for agents only. Right? Other agents can get on there, pull the disclosures. If they call and say, "Hey Zach, can you send me a copy of disclosures?" Actually, hey, they're already online. If you just go in there, they're on there as a supplement. Don't do what I saw somebody do one time, which was they uploaded supplements for other agents, and so I was a buyer's agent, and I went to supplements for the property. It was the listing, and opened supplements, and it was the disclosures and the net sheet. Kind of a big deal.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah. So be very, very mindful of what you're uploading for supplements, because you can upload your own. Can you upload your own supplements right now?
Yeah.
You can upload your own documents? Yep, you'll be able to do the same thing in Northstar. You can upload it, and you can determine if the public sees it or just agents or both. So let's take a look at what that would look like. So let's talk generically for a second. So let's say I take a listing. I take a new listing, I turn that paperwork into the office, and then what happens? Who enters it?
Christina.
Christina enters it into the MLS, right? And then once it's been entered into the MLS, what happens? Does she notify you?
Yeah.
Yes. What is it? Does she email you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, your property's been entered into MLS. Here's the MLS number, right? That's what happens.
Yeah.
So once the office has entered your listing for you, and it has an MLS number and everything, now when you log into Northstar MLS and you go to My Matrix, which is this tab up here, everybody see the My Matrix tab? Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I want to go to the Add Edit tab. this tab right here. When I go to the Add Edit tab, because Christina just uploaded a listing of mine, now I can see it in my Add Edit portion of MLS, okay? And if I want to add pictures, add supplements, edit any of my remarks and stuff like that, I come to the Add Edit tab and it shows all the listings I have where I can make some of the changes. Follow me so far? Okay, very good. So let's take a peek at this one. So this is a property that's been, it's a listing I have in my matrix. I'm going to click on it. And then within here, I've got the ability to make some changes. First, it's going to give me just some general information about the property. Yep, that's great. Okay, can't really change that. The office is the one that inputs all that data, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to change bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, all that jazz, you guys understand that you can't just do that, right? That has to go through the office. Okay. The reason behind that is to try to ensure some accuracy of information. If I click on media, here's where I have the ability to start adding pictures, right? So if you're going to add pictures for your listing, you go to Add Edit, the Add Edit tab, you click on the listing, you click on media, and now you can start adding the pictures that you want in, okay? And then also, if I wanted to add that description, here's where I would type in the description for that particular photo. I would save it, and then we're good to go. You can rotate it, you can delete it, you can drag and move and change the order of the pictures. This is how we add more pictures by clicking this. It's going to bring up your browser. Click to add the picture. Very user-friendly. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Glad to hear it. This just gives you an idea of kind of what it's going to look like on the back end. Now, if you'll notice, media, and I've got a couple of tabs: photos, supplements, virtual tours. So let's click on the supplements tab. And here it shows what I have: agents only, disclosures. I can delete it, I can check it, I can do whatever. So the moral of the story here is, as far as supplements go, you're not limited just to disclosures. You can upload a bunch of stuff here. You just have to be conscientious of the branding if it's public versus agents only.
You upload it, then you have a choice of agents only.
Yes, you do. Let me click something and see if I can do that. Right here, viewable, agents only, or all. That's where you would pick that. Viewable by, agents only, or all. And then you can also add a description of the document as well if you wanted to. I'm going to cancel and not save that. So here's the other thing: virtual tour. You would just click to add the link, and you can do a description. Now, the biggest thing you have to be mindful about regarding a virtual tour is what?
Branding.
The branding thing. It's goofy because when I took one of my first listings, I was like, okay, I'll create my own. I put the pictures together, I put the video on YouTube, and then shared the link. I was like, okay, I'll be fine. It doesn't have any of my branding. Well, no, it doesn't even like it if you take it to YouTube or something. If you're doing videos, you want to work with somebody that knows what they're doing and can abide by the MLS rules for you, right? Make sure that any of the exterior pictures of the property don't have your sign in it. That's another example of sometimes getting in trouble. You can add the URL in here. Tours may not be branded, may not contain any contact information, nor contain links to any other sites. That's the goofy thing. They don't want you clicking a link and going to a different site. I know it sounds strange, but that's kind of how they have it set up. Then you can add description as well. Open houses. You've got the ability to add and edit your own open houses. You have that ability in Flex right now, right?
Yeah.
So add edit to add an open house. Add edit tab. Click on the listing. Then you click on the open house tab. And here you can come in, click add, say who it's going to be hosted by. Select, yeah. Open houses. Who it's going to be, is it a public open house? Or what does broker mean? That's broker tour, right? That would be the tour, right? Public, who's hosting it, company, blah, 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 and then the date and the time. And the reason, if I'm going to hold an open house, the reason I want to come into MLS and put the open house on there is why? Yeah, so it shows on MLS and all the other third-party websites that information eventually makes its way to, right? That way, if the general public is searching on websites for open houses or properties, they'll see your scheduled date and time and know that you're hosting an open house, right? So if you're going to hold an open, do you think the sooner, the better to post that information? Absolutely. Now, here's the dangerous thing. Once you post open house information online for the world to see, and then you decide you want to cancel it, what happens? Yeah, not everybody's going to get an alert saying, hey, Zach's feeling lazy today. He's not going to hold his open house. I'm just kidding, right? But what I'm saying is if you post an open house online and it's been out there for a while, you probably want to be there because there's a good chance some people are going to drive up to go to the open, even though you did the right thing and tried to cancel it and let people know about it, you might still get some people to show up. All right, sometimes it's a risk you just have to take. The other reason I share this is if you're going to cancel or not hold an open house, what do you think you should probably do if you posted it in MLS? Either find somebody that can or what? Remove it. Pull it down. Delete it. Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise, it's going to show that you're holding it open Saturday, 12 to 2, even though you decide you're not going to be there. That's just terrible. It's not good. When people are showing up and they expect you to be there and you're not, what do you think that's going to do to your reputation? Right? So self-explanatory stuff, I know, but it gives options for drinks, lunch, snacks. If you want to get a little crazy, feel free. Mine always says none. However, if you ever do hold an open house in which you decide that you want to provide lunch, that's fine. Just let me know. I'd probably like to come. Okay. Any other questions about this?
Yeah, when
What
you
do you
do, it looks like you can do a broker. Does that go out to all the realtors?
It doesn't email it out there, no.
Okay.
All it does is it specifies online if it's a broker open tour or if it's for the public. The public has no idea. If the public sees it advertised and they want to go, they're probably going to show up, right? So if you want other agents to know that you're holding it specifically for them to come check it out, then you would do a broker tour. I just always put open house. And then if I'm going to advertise it to other agents, I'll just email them directly or whatever. Email blast them and say, hey, come on, holding a broker open, come on, check this property out. There's going to be some snacks and stuff there. Which I understand is a dying art form in Rochester specifically. Yeah. Which is fine. So again, if I go back, it breaks down up here for me, like if I had single family listings and multifamily, lots, land, commercial, residential, rentals, farm, etc., I would click between these different categories to find the different types of properties I have listed to go ahead and then make the edits or changes that I need to, right? For me, it's almost always single family. Every once in a while, there might be a lot that I have listed, but for you, you've got a few different types of properties that you have listed. You're going to be switching between those and then editing or changing them. You can change your view as well for how you look at properties. So it's fairly simple. Remember, if I wanted to make any changes to the property or to a listing, once it was entered, and again, the listing has to be entered first before you can log in and access it to make those changes. If Christina just emailed me and told me my listing is live, and I want to go add pictures to it, where do I go from right here? I go to the Add and Edit tab. Then once I'm in there, and I have all my listings in here, I click on the respective listing that I want to edit, right? And then from there,
Media.
yep, so you got it down. Shows off. So here are my 23 photos, have a virtual tour. Let's see what kind of supplements I have here. Agents only, agents only. I've got my my regular disclosures, and I've got my lead-based paint disclosure as well. I like to break them down like that. If there was a well and septic, you'd see a third one for well and septic, so they're all individual. You can do one whole big one if you want to, but it's up to you. Now let's say I'm in Northstar and I just want to see what kind of inventory I've got, where my listings are, how we're doing. I can go to my matrix, and I can come down to my listings. And here it's going to pop up. Right now I have it, I think, just my active listings. I don't have it as pendings or anything. So at a quick glance, I can look to see what my inventory is, right? You can see these properties that got listed, and then here's one in Albert Lee that I'm co-listed on, just so that somebody could get it into Northstar. But now as we merge, what's that agent going to be able to do? It's going to be in Northstar, right? They're not going to have to co-list it with me just to get it into that additional system, right? Which is one of the added benefits to what we're doing. Okay, so from a listing standpoint, does that cover most of the questions you would have about how you manage your listings in Northstar? Excellent. If you ever just want to see what your property looks like or check it out, of course you can search for it or go to My Listings. I like to take a peek at them once, like Christina uploads it, for example, just to verify and make sure things are right. Because sometimes if you're human, you might have a typo or an error in here, right? So I have to double check it. You do have a limited number of characters for public remarks. You have to work within that parameter. And then does Flex afford you agent only and public remarks? Mm-hmm. So you still have that stuff that you want just agents to see versus what the public can see. And it's just good practice to go through and verify that everything is the way that it should be.
Do you have to put the room dimensions in?
It's not required, no. I was a little lazy when I ran this. I would never do room dimensions unless I already had them. But we started doing them because what do you think some of the first questions we would get from people are? What are the room dimensions? So it's like, let's just get it done, get it up there. And my mentality became, if somebody wants that information to feel more comfortable to make an offer on my client's property, I should probably have it at their fingertips from the get-go, just so it's that much easier for that buyer to decide they want to make an offer on my client's property. So it's up to you. But what we do, this is, Jim's coming up with a little cover sheet of great clauses that you can use in purchase agreements and stuff. This is a clause I use in agent remarks all the time. Measurements are approximate, buyer and buyer's agent to verify. That's a cover your butt clause right there. Here are the room measurements, but guess what? They're approximate. It's incumbent upon the buyer's agent and the buyer to verify that information. Oh, by the way, is that an accurate statement? It is. It's incumbent upon the buyer and the buyer's agent to verify that information. Now, I can't grossly misrepresent it, or I can't misrepresent it if I know it to be false. But what I can do is say, hey, here's the approximate measurements. If you guys want to know the exact details, verify it yourself. Well, by the way, you're probably going to have an appraiser come through and measure rooms too, right?
What else does it say?
It says, please send all questions and offers to co-list agent Carly Duckworth because they fired Zach a long time ago. All offers received after 5 p.m. will be responded to the next day. That's a quality of life clause. Cindy, if you send me an offer after 5 o'clock, there's no guarantee I'm going to get back to you that same day. It's probably going to be the next day. It's for sure the case over the weekend, right? And oh, by the way, it lets people know sometimes during multiple offer situations, get your offer into me tonight and just relax. Just relax. I've got it. We'll get you tomorrow. Take it easy, right? Because that's what we'll let people know. If an offer comes into our inbox, we'll respond. Hey, we got it acknowledged. Be in touch tomorrow. If it's like after business hours, because when I go home, despite my best efforts, my attention is usually elsewhere, right? Because I got kids trying to get potty trained and they're hungry, and there's little guys trying to climb the stairs, and oh my God. So even though I want to communicate with you on this offer, I can't. It's not going to happen. So I'm just kidding. But that's just a little thing we put in there. If it's a brand new listing and we're pretty confident it's going to go into multiple offers, we'll usually put a clause in there that says, hey, any offers received over the weekend will be reviewed and responded to by Monday. And then this, of course, is just for standard information. That's all. This is aimed at communicating information to my peers, right? This is aimed at communicating to the general public to invoke interest in the property and get them to see it and make an offer on it. Other questions? Okay. Outside of listings, just in general, any questions in general about Northstar? It's pretty user-friendly. I like it a lot. You guys already know how to do some of your showing time stuff. That's obviously important when it comes to listings. You're going to input your showing time data for your clients and all that fun stuff. Should be no change. It's the same service provider as the one that we use for Flex MLS. They do have a lot of great how-to videos, but really, if you know how to search for properties and you know how to manage your listings on Northstar, that's really about all you need to know how to do. Anything above and beyond that is you're just somebody that's tinkering around in there for fun.
And then the contact list is in there too.
Yes. So, do you see something in particular that's causing you to say that?
No, I can't really even see the screen.
Oh, okay. You talk about just for your people.
Right.
Let's go to. I go to My Matrix. I go to Contacts. I'm gonna pull up all my people. And what's nice about this is, and Cindy, we talked about this last time, is when you set somebody up on an auto email and you add them as a contact for the auto emails, they automatically get added as one of your contacts in Northstar. So you've got that information saved. They're there. Just like when you add somebody to .loop, they get added to your eEdge database. It's the same principle. And then you can come through and see when they've accessed the listings that you're sending them, if they favorited any properties, when the last time an email was sent to them for the listings about a property, all that stuff is right here at your fingertips. Now, there's two schools of thought on this. For many years, before I was with Keller Williams, I used the MLS. I used Northstar to push out all my auto property searches and everything. It was great. It was convenient. It worked very well. I could track what people were doing, and it had all the back-end information that I needed at my fingertips. I have since changed course on that. Now, when I set somebody up on an auto search, what do you think I use? I use my website. I use my website because I'm very selfish. If I want web traffic on a website, do you think I want web traffic on Northstar MLS, or do you think I want web traffic on ZachDuckworth.com? I want Google and Bing and whatever other search engine is out there to see that people are constantly visiting and spending time on my website, not Northstar, so that when people are searching for home-related, real estate-related information, all the algorithms understand that my website appears to be useful content that people are interacting with frequently. There's a downside to it. The downside is Northstar MLS is going to push out more accurate information on a more timely basis. Mine's always going to lag behind just a little bit. So if people are getting auto searches from your website, it might be just a little bit behind what they would be getting from Northstar, which is important in a market like this when time is of the essence, right? So there's a trade-off.
How far behind?
Oh, at most, maybe a day or two, depending. Yeah, it can be, right? It's gotten better. Now it's pretty much near the same, but the statuses might be different. The status in Northstar is always going to be the most accurate versus it showing up as pending or active inspection on my website. There's a little bit of lag there, just like you see the lag on Zillow, right? So when in doubt, if you're going to pick something, go with this. Utilize this, get this up and running, and make this your thing. And then if you decide, hey, I want to start transitioning to my website more, your specific website, then we can do that. But get here and make this happen here more than it should. The MLS with auto email searches is your single greatest, most powerful tool you have available to you. Why do you think I say that?
Like thinking out of it.
Yes,
You can
you- because-
automatically send people houses that they might be interested
Yes.
in.
It's automatic.
They see your name and your stuff.
You're exactly right. It's automatic. It's leverage. You don't have to think about it. It's a set it and forget it. And it's constantly sending people valuable, pertinent information that they're interested in, right? This is not a newsletter that you might just delete or unsubscribe from. This is what people are asking for. I want to see properties. Great. Here's a property from Melissa Gregg. Here's a property from Melissa Gregg. Here's a property from Melissa Gregg. I'm winning on all fronts in terms of staying in front of my clients or prospective clients to win their business, right? You hold an open house. What's one of the biggest goals you have while you're at that open house? Exactly. Lori, great to meet you. Thanks for coming in. What exactly is it you're looking for at home? Awesome. Here's what I'd love to do. I'd love to send you all the properties that are available right now that fit that criteria. And oh, by the way, send you all the properties that come on the market that fit that criteria. Would that be helpful for you? Fantastic. What's your email address? Boom. Now I'm constantly communicating with Lori, sending her properties and saying, hey, if you ever want to see any of these in person, you just let me know. I'd be happy to get you in. Right? Anything else?
What kind of reports does it pull?
What kind of reports look for?
Stats,
So,
market statistics.
yeah, one of the greatest things I like about Northstar is this add-on called InfoSparks. Click on InfoSparks. I can come in here and I can edit cities, regions, etc. And it's going to pull statistics for me that I can take a peek at. New listings, homes for sale, pending properties. I can come up here, single families, condos, townhomes, new construction. I've got all kinds of price points. I've got all kinds of information at my fingertips. And yes, this will be specific to Rochester, Byron, Casson, Winona, Austin, Wabasha, all the different areas you'll be able to pull this information for. Okay. I love going here and pulling this information and bringing it to listing appointments. It's already done for me. Average days on market, average sale price, average pending, average close, right? It's all right here that I can pull from and bring to that appointment. This is the Northstar version of those reports I go over with you guys at team meetings. Only this looks a lot nicer. I also like that you can do it as a region. I'm curious to see if they put we got Rochester, Austin already in here as a region. And adjust the timeline. Do you know why some of these stats are goofy? They don't have reciprocity yet. Great question. So InfoSparks would be a useful thing you can go into and kind of toy around with it. Pull out different products, graphs, or stats that you'd want to take with you on listing. But oh, by the way, do you think it might be useful to have some of this stuff with you at an open house? Absolutely. I guarantee you no other agents are doing that. If you're one of the few agents that has that kind of information that you can pass out to people as they're coming through your open, you will be automatically setting yourself apart. Be of added value and have a better chance at winning their business and being their agent than the agent that's watching the Vikings game on the couch, hardly paying attention to anybody. Yes, sir.
I picked up a listing in Salem Corners. Lady walked into my open house and she said, I was working on my laptop. She said, "Can I see my listing?" I said, "Sure."
Uh-oh.
And I knew it wasn't an MLS. And I said, "So here's Byron," and she scrolled through everything and she said, "Where's my listing?" I said, "Who's your agent? Who's your broker?" And she told me I knew who it was. And she said, "Why is it not there?" I said, "I would recommend that you call your agent and find out why it's not there." I said, "I have one question for you. Did you agree to put it in multiple listing when you signed your listing agreement with them?" She said, "Yeah, they told me they would put it in there right away."
Ooh.
This is like 3 weeks after.
Breach of fiduciary and violation of MLS
Must have been Home Avenue.
I got the listing and I sold them a house in Byron.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Only because I had the information on my laptop.
Right. And because their agent do what they said they didn't do what they said they were going to do.
They still don't like me, but I don't care. I mean, the clients do.
I was going to say, John, I don't imagine that anybody doesn't like you. Yeah.
So we're talking about listings here.
Yes, ma'am.
When I go to a listing, I want to have a CMA.
Yes.
About CMA.
Yep.
Is that pretty straightforward on this?
It is. There is a little, there's a CMA, let me see if I can find it. So CMAs, the CMA tab, okay? And you can click start a new CMA and you can have a contact's name, single family, description, whatever, and you can go through this process. It's going to give you pages, subject, blah, 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 blah. What I would recommend is let's have a CMA specific class, and then I will also tell you I've been with Northstar MLS since 2010, and I never once have used their CMA feature. Because for some reason, for a lot of realtors, the the CMA has become synonymous with what? It even looks the same sometimes on paper when you look at it. It looks like an appraisal, right? I do not, this is just my humble opinion, you'll have other people that vary. When I do a CMA, I am not doing an appraisal, which means I'm not getting into that crazy level of detail. I am not making adjustments for fireplaces, it's just, I'm not gonna do that. That's not my job, right? What I will do is I will pull within a quarter mile up to a mile radius, depending upon how many I can find within the same school district, a few actives, a few pendings, a few closeds that are similar to your property. And there's gonna be some give or take, right? Then that's what we'll look at. My CMA literally, Melissa, is either one sheet of paper that has the actives, pendings, and solds on it, or three. One is the actives, pendings, and solds. And I say, here's the actives, here's the pendings, here's the solds, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Based on the information I just shared with you, where do you think we need to list your home in order to get it to sell sooner rather than later, right? But they do have a built-in CMA tool if you want to go through that process and end up with a product that looks more like an appraisal, where you've got properties listed side by side. It allows you to make adjustments and stuff like that. But the reason I don't do that right now, if you said, Zach, this house has a fireplace, this one doesn't, what adjustment would you make? I would say, I don't know. I have no idea. This one's got a 3/4, this one's got a full bath. What adjustment would you make? I don't know. Because that 3/4 bath might be absolutely gorgeous, and that full bath might be from 1970 with a blue tub and a blue toilet. So I don't know what adjustment to make. Quite frankly, the 3/4 is probably worth more than the full, right? Because real estate is not a mathematical equation. It's both an art and a science. We're the art part. We, the agents, are the art part. An appraiser is more in the science part of it, which is why I can't stand it. No, I'm just kidding. But to answer your question, yes, you've got a CMA tool available to you. I appreciate you asking that question, because I think what I'll do in December is I'll probably put a class on the calendar specifically to show CMAs in Northstar. We overlooked that, so thank you for asking that. Anything else? All right, guys, we're not gonna keep you just to keep it. Yeah, what do you got?
Today, the day that they were gonna give us access?
I would have to check my email. Yeah, the 12th. I think it was the 12th. I think Michelle sent me an email last week saying that you guys would be allowed to be, you would be given the ability to start toying around in Northstar. Yeah, today. I'll talk to Katie about that or whoever. And if we do, we'll post about it in the Facebook group, and then we'll email everybody as an office to say, hey, you can get in and start taking a peek. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thanks everybody. I'm not going to flick the lights on right away for the little one, just to be safe.
You learned the hard way.
Yo, my